previously on Soul Rankings.
Previously. Coming in at number 5, Air Jordan 1 High 85 in the Georgetown colorway. Fantastic shoe. One of my favorite shoes of the year, clearly. Coming in at number 4, the AMM Air Jordan 2. Standing strong in the top 5 and might stay there the whole year. Coming in at number 3, the Jound 990 V3 has been kicked out of second place in our top 5, and it was dethroned by possibly the best Air Jordan 1 colorway Travis Scott has ever done, the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low Reverse Mocha. Coming in at number 1, still standing strong as the best shoe of the year, at least in Connor and my humble opinion, the Mambacita Sweet 16 Kobe Protro 6. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Soul Rankings. He, once again, is Connor. I am Lawrence. August started a little slow, but it finished with an absolute frenzy. These are the best 5 sneakers that released in the month of August, starting with number 5.
At number 5, we have the Marvel Vapes, but because they didn't make it easy for us, and it is another pack, we chose specifically the Captain America pair because we thought that was the most classic color blocking, but also the cleanest. We're also huge fans of Captain America. I really liked the pack altogether, including the apparel. It was kind of the first time that I've seen the Vapes feel like they did back in the day. I know that it was pretty easy to jump back into the Marvel license again since some of the most famous Vapes ever made were actually Marvel collaborations, but it's cool that they still have that touch even as we enter a completely new era of what Marvel ends up looking like.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this pack altogether. Like you said, the nostalgia is absolutely there. I know both of us are big Marvel fans and Steve Rogers is my guy. So yeah, happy to put Captain America at the top of the pack and at number 5 on our list. Speaking of nostalgia here, and it's weird to say nostalgia because this feels so like recent, but we saw the first ever retro of a pair of sneakers from the Adidas Yeezy line, and that was the Turtle Dove Yeezy 350 V1. I don't even know what to say. This is an absolute classic in the Adidas Yeezy lineage, and it was so cool to see it come back on Yeezy Day, which actually also was my birthday, which was a fun little fact. Did not get them, so hit me up as a belated birthday present. But yeah, really excited to see these come back, and hopefully it's a shade of things to come because I would love to see some retros of the quote-unquote classic Adidas Yeezy pairs.
And this is definitely one of the more marked retros that they've done on a Yeezy so far. No one's lost love on that V1 silhouette. Pretty much from the instant that people knew that there was a possibility that these were going to restock, the hype was astronomical on it. But as soon as we got to release time, I'm happy to say that in North America, through the confirmed app, they weren't too bad to get thanks to the massive amount of stock. Unfortunately for the EU, looks like they did run into some issues with that, but that didn't take away any of the momentum of people absolutely loving them once they got them in hand, and I can see absolutely why, because it's an iconic shoe that is now once again back in the hands of the people, and we're back to that mission statement that Ye positioned for Yeezy at the beginning, where Yeezys are available, and even as far back as some of the first that were ever made. So super happy to have it back, and that's why it's number 4 on our list.
Before we get into 3, 2, 1 here, I will say I had number 4 on this list, the Turtle Doves, higher than this. Connor wanted something else higher. We had probably the most lengthy discussion we've had about Soul Rankings prep, about where things go. So I'm gonna let Connor introduce number 3 here, but just know this was not my choice. I did not even want this on the list, and somehow it ended up at number 3. So Connor, go ahead.
At number 3, we have the Jound Asics, specifically in the black-white colorway. Now, Asics is a brand that you wouldn't expect to have on a Soul Rankings list or even on one of these lists in general, because it's not a brand that really carries a lot of hype to it. But the culture behind the brand has still been strong. I mean, of course, we still had Kith and a bunch of other brands work as far as collaborations go, but I haven't seen as much for Ripple as I've seen for Jound collaborating on these. This is the first time that I've seen so many people really label an Asics shoe as an absolute must cop, and that's a very popular opinion. I think that these are a really cool silhouette that does stay true to that adage of that sort of Jound minimalism of doing just enough on a shoe to let their mark be known, but still feeling very in-house to the brand. And as far as kind of going back to specifically that era of running shoe, I think it's a really good callback fundamentally.
So anyways, the shoe that should have been there was the Stussy Air Max 2013. Should have made the list. The Jound is an Asics. It's a Keanu. It's a good model of the Asics line, but it's an Asics running shoe for me. It's a little bit of a stretch for me. I'd get the whole dad shoe, comfort, cozy boys, whatever you want to call it. Not for me, unfortunately. Stussy 2013 got snubbed, and I will never ever let Connor live it down. Coming in at number 2, this is something that we were able to agree on, and it's the Asics Cortez that just squeaked its way in at the end of the month of August. And Connor and I talked about this at length, and Asics has been on a tear with Nike releases in the last couple of years. And this is one of the more, if not the most, unique kind of silhouettes that they've taken over and made their own. Really, really, really cool interpretation of what the Cortez looks like, the whole like neo future vibe. Really like the double stack sole, adding the zoom unit on the toe or like the forefoot is a really cool touch. So yeah, just overall, it's a cool shoe, and I'm happy. I'm okay with seeing this at number 2.
And I'm happy that we have Lawrence's acceptance on this pair at number 2, because I'm a really, really big fan. I was actually somebody who was getting pretty burnt out as far as the amount of Asics collaborations that we were seeing. And well, things like the Vapor Waffle excited me, and whenever they were willing to push forward with a new silhouette, I was excited. A lot of the releases that they've had as of late haven't been the most exciting. But with an actual new silhouette on the board, and still staying true to a lot of those touches that we would stay acclimated to with Asics, they came out with a shoe that does actually feel wholly new. And I'm super duper excited that we got it this year. I was really expecting to see it later on, but yeah, we got it in August, and I think that this one is definitely going to be a contender throughout the year as we see other colorways and other things drop. But otherwise, at number 2, the Asics Cortezes.
Connor, again, this was hotly contested. Connor wanted the Asics Cortez at number 1. I said absolutely not. I gave you the Jound, give me this. So Connor, I'm gonna let you introduce my number 1 pick of the month.
At number 1, we have the Pada Air Max 1s, the Each One Teach One, specifically in the white colorway. Even though we got 2 Padas this month, we focused it on that white colorway. Really, really solid shoe fundamentally. It started out its journey as a potential leak and also something that we thought was only going to be friends and family, but then eventually did make it into our hands. And versus feeling like a rehash of what was popular for Pada a little bit ago. New box, new vibe, new color blocking, and overall this is probably one of the better shoes fundamentally, and it's definitely up there with that Noise Aqua and that Monarch pair.
Yeah, 100% agree. So that is our top 5 for August. Let's get into the running leaderboard for the year. We did have a little bit of shuffling here. Something got booted and something got added and shifted around. So coming in at number 5, the Pada Air Max 1 just squeaked its way onto the list in the pure platinum colorway. That overtook the AMM Jordan 2, which was at number 4. Now coming in at number 4 is the Air Jordan 1 High 85 Georgetown, the only non-collab on this list. So you know it's doing some heavy lifting with the colorway and the story. Coming in at number 3 is the Jown 990 V3, still holding strong from the beginning of the year. Coming in at number 2, the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low Reverse Mocha. And coming in at number 1, just after Mamba Day, which was yesterday when we recorded, RIP to the GOAT, the Mambasita Sweet 16 Kobe 6 Pro Tro. Connor, thoughts on the running top 5? Give it to me.
I'm really worried about this fall because I think it's going to end up shaking up this list quite a bit. We still have a lot of heavy hitters coming up, and especially seeing how strong this late August was and how hard it was to decide this list, I have a feeling that top 5 is going to look completely different by even the time that we hit November or December. So really, really excited, but also really, really scared because we're going to have to make some really tough decisions coming up.
Tough decisions is the name of the game, buddy. So that is our top 5 for the month. Make sure to check back in the month of September. Like Connor said, we got some really cool things coming down the pipeline. I have been Lawrence. He has been Connor. This has been Soul Rankings, and we are out. Peace.